Hello, my name is Islam Salim, and today I have a video presentation for my course, Cyber Security and Cyber Hygiene. We have an example of shop, easy limited shop. So there are some data breaches and security damage happens in that company. So we just need to show the report of that shop, easy limited. So first of all, we just need to uh, have important cyber hygiene policies. So first of all, I have to figure out and investigate the problem. So in figure out and investigating problem, we just need to say the credential management failure. We make sure that maybe the weak passwords and repeatedly using password, and that can also cause of easy attacks to breach data. Ignore system maintenance. There must be unpatched system which make sure unpatched system that can and maintain a system that can be known as a vulnerabilities. Low security awareness. Employees don't have an awareness of phishing attacks. So the system and they are easy to, if the employees are not aware of phishing attacks, that can also be a risk to attack to the system and data breaches. So, and uninsecure remote access devices without antivirus or updates. Most of the employees are using their personal devices, or they are working remotely from home. So their personal devices are not, not up to date, and not have the antivirus system that can also cause the data breaches and to the company's data or customers' information. So in the second way, the consequences of this breach. So what are the consequences that can happen after this data breach? So that can identity theft. So anyone who have unauthorized access to the customer or company's data can have the customer identification or personal data and information that can and also fake transactions. So that can also result in companies financial loss, as that the data or information that is going to breach from unauthorized access, then that can also make the company loss as a financial. They can make fake transactions and customers accounts as well. So reputation damage and loss of trust. So this data breach can also then also damage the company's reputation. Like Sharp is limited brand's reputation can also going to be damaged, and loss of trust after this data breach or theft identity. That can also break the customer's trust to the companies like Sharp Limited's brand. That can also be a big loss to the company and their their reputation as well in the market. Potential regulatory fines. If company there must be a rules regulated by a government in any country. Like we are living in I am studying in UK. So in UK there is a government's rule and regulations for any company who's working out there in the market. So if we break the rules and guidelines of that government's regulations, so the company may have get the fine from government. That can also be a compliance failure as a company. So that can also be a big loss for a company in the market as well, and in financial sources as also. So, what are the suggested solution and policy levels we can recommend and have to implement to access and secure the data for policy level intervention to improve cyber hygienes? So, first of all, we just need to password and access control policy. We just need to make sure that we are using strong passwords and password managers, so that all the passwords are secure and strong as much as that no one easily can attack the system and have the password access. So, we just need to make sure that the passwords are strong, and security awareness training. We just need to give regular workshops and phishing simulation training to our employees, so that they are well knowledge about the about all the workshops and phishing aside, so that if something happens or company if something happens, so they are mentally and they have a practical knowledge of how to overcome over that. And if something happens, so they have the knowledge. So how can I come over and make sure that this all data is secure? So BYOD policies ensure that personal devices meet security standards. We just make sure that all the personal devices also have an antivirus system, and they are well equipped that the data and customers information and personal information is being secured in their system as well. So there is no we just not need to give any loophole, so that can damage customers and companies data and information. And incident response protocols. We plan for breach identification, containment, and notification. We need to have in a company, and employees also need to be make sure that they have incident response plan. So if something happens, if something bad happens to the company's information or data, or they're going to breach the data, so companies and employees are also well known that if something happens, we have a plan B. So how can we can tackle that situation and make sure that how much we can save this in this attack. So they must have the plan for a breach identification and data maintenance. So and also we need to align it with rules and standards. We just need to make sure that company with key regulation and standard GDPR encrypt personal data. We just need to encrypt the personal data, make sure it's storage limited, and set up breach workflows. We make sure that make sure that the workflow and the employees are well trained. They have workshops as well to make sure that all the regulation and standards and rules of company. So they make sure that implement information security management system for ongoing risk management. They make sure that they use the ISO IES 27001 security system, and NCSC Cyber Essential 5 security configuration and patch management system, that they make sure all the security management, they make sure they are using firewall systems and secure configuration system and patch attainment and regular update of the system and information. And other, we have technology controls. We can access authentication. We must use multi-factor authentication for cloud and remote access, and use secure logins with VPNs. We make sure that all the access and authorized access, all the access is authorized. So they make sure we use multi-factor authentication to make sure this is the access is authorized. Patch management, automate updates and cross sourcing. We just make sure that, as previous I told you, that we just make sure the patch management system, our system is well up to date, and they have all across the system. So other data security, encrypt data at rest and in transit. We make sure that the data which is encrypted both at rest and in transit, they are using security protocol like AES 256 and TLS 1.3 and protection secure mails. We just make sure that all the mails and professional and companies and customer emails are secure with the software like DMARC, SPF, DKIM, and monitor endpoints with EDR. So we just make sure that the endpoints, we make sure they are secure and endpoints. And roadmaps for implementation. We just create a roadmap which we can implement and secure our company's data and breaches implementation steps over 3 stages. I just created 3 stages for implementation. So in first 2 months, we will set up password manager, enforce strong password, implement multi-factor authentication and VPN. In 3 to 6 months, hold phishing simulation, encrypt database, follow GDPR rules, check vendor access. And 6 to 12 months, implement international security management system, conduct audits, penetration test, establish incident response procedure. Now I'm going to explain all the steps in deep and briefly. So first, immediate action will be in 2 months. So in which company-wide password management management setup, and strong password policies. We'll just make sure that the company using the password manager, and then have a strong password policies, and implement. We just make sure that implement multi-factor authentication and VPN on all accounts, so that everyone who is accessing the data is authorized person. Addressing existing security gaps, we just make sure that every employees are well addressed to the existing companies gaps, and they have personal devices are well good, like their employees personal devices, make sure they have antivirus system, so we can protect the data. In medium term action, in 3 to 6 months, we just need to hold quarterly phishing simulation and staff workshop. We need to make sure that our staff is have regularly taking the workshops and and phishing attack simulation, so that they are well aware of everything which is maybe going to loss or breach the data. Encrypt database and follow GDPR data minimization guideline. We just make sure that data is well encrypted, database is well encrypted, and they follow GDPR's data minimization guidelines. So this is all follow all the rules and regulation. Review third party vendor access and enforce stronger authentication. We make sure that any third party vendor access is denied. So we just make sure that our authentication process is more stronger and enforce that no one can, a third party vendor cannot access our data easily. And in long-term actions, in 6 to 12 months, we just implement an information security systems using information security management system, for as the software like ISO, IEC 27001, and conduct regular security audits and penetration tests. We just need to make sure that we have conduct regular security management audits and penetration testing, and regularly review and test incident response plans. We just make sure that if something happens, we just make a regular plan about that, and incident response plan as well. So we make sure that if something going to happen, we have a plan, and then review that plan. If something happened, we make sure that this how this happened, and how we are going to tackle this, and how we will come out from this situation as soon as possible. So, this is all from my side to make sure that our shop easy limited companies is well protected through all this process. I have given you the implementation roadmap, so how we can implement this thing, this process, and this is whole process can be implemented in 12 months, and we will be having a secured company. So this is all from my side. Thank you for your attention.